Hello everybody. Today I'm here with the Salomon Aero Blaze 3 for my morning run. It's another double day. And today, before I go into what the goal of today is, first I wanted to touch on, because I'm totally going to forget this, the Aero Blaze has the Energy Foam Evo in it, right? No, that's not right. Hold on. It says, Energy Evo Foam or Energy Foam Evo, whatever you want to call it. That's actually not what's in it. Kafuzi put out a video, and apparently his information is that it's supposed to be the Optifoam that's in the marketing, and that's a misprint on the shoes. Either way, I wanted to clear up that this is a TPU-based foam, according to Kafuzi, right? Which I trust probably he has pretty good information since he's getting the shoes from the brands. Goal for today is, I've run in the shoe a few times. This is a very standard feeling, mildly lower stack, like up-tempo daily trainer type of shoe. And one thing that is very present in the industry is the human tendency towards novelty, and it's something that I'm super susceptible towards. So thinking about how we could find novelty in our day-to-day lives and keep the things that we love interesting over a long period of time, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your running hobby, and whether it's your running roots inside of the hobby, or if it's like shoes, or however you can keep a thing that you do for a long time fresh. I mean, your job, for example. So that's the thing that I'm going to be thinking about turning over in my head today as we get roughly 8 miles right now. The watch doesn't tell me that. I just, source of information, right? Consult with the wizard on the wrist. Okay, let's go. Days like today where you're running in what really is a nice, good, but fundamentally average daily trainer that is of moderate stack height and decent, but not like amazing foam, that just sort of you run in, and that's really what it's for. But there's not much that it's doing for you. It makes you think about the concept of novelty and its role in the human psychology, and how companies, brands can leverage that psychology to convince you to purchase things. And look, I'm in a consumer space, I'm aware of that. And it's a delicate balance for me, who I am somebody that very much enjoys new things. Like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where Barney's like, new is always better. And then everybody jumps on him to prove him wrong, like with old scotch versus new scotch and whatever. But that episode sticks out to me because for me, new is always better. And in the same way that the moral of the episode was that that's not actually true, I know that that's not actually true, but like the dopamine receptors of my brain are very strong and they love new things. Right, so this is something that either we actively try to resist or we just go with the flow on. But whatever you decide to do, I think it's beneficial to your own decision-making process to not ignore that fundamental yearning for newness that we all share, and to find ways other than blind and unintentional consumption to stimulate the sensation of new inside a hobby. Some of the more healthy ways you could accomplish that is trying a new workout, going on a different route, trying a new fueling strategy, This one might not be so easy, but making new friends, running with those new friends, listening to a new podcast, something that may or may not be within the realm of your current belief set. Deliberately getting lost, accidentally getting lost. Going at a different time of day, although that's not always the most realistic. It can be nice. New music, just along the same lines as podcasts. You could also add to your current routine. So if you're getting out the door and just starting to run like me, maybe adding a few warm-up drills once or twice a week could break up the monotony. And then maybe once or twice a week adding some strides at the end can break up the monotony, and also both of those have the added benefit of adding strength. But that's running. What about in the rest of life? Maybe you're feeling disconnected with your dogs. Something that sometimes I can experience is dogs are very routine oriented, and I'm really routine oriented as well. But sometimes it's a little too routine oriented, and I feel like I maybe don't give them as much attention as they deserve. I don't know if they feel that way, but one way you could integrate a change up, a novelty, into your life is providing them like an extra treat, or swapping their pebbles out for wet food. Maybe you're a chef at a restaurant, and maybe you're a line cook and not a chef, and you have a little bit of creative freedom, but not on the dishes you serve each night. So a way that you could improve your work, one way is through optimization, where at 6 every night you're gonna get slammed with a bunch of orders, and so you could optimize by preparing or sandbagging an extra one or two, but leaving it as a blank slate. Like if it's a burger, don't really prep the bun or the toppings or anything, but maybe throw down the patty, get the bread out, and go from there. Or if you're already doing that, instead of doing an additive thing, maybe if you have a slow Monday, you utilize the ingredients on hand to create a new dish that's creative. Chops up the monotony. Aspect of your life it is. It's about recognizing when you're stuck in that rut, when you're doing the same thing over and over again, when your life starts to feel like Groundhog Day. Mixing it up is critical to your mental success, but also being able to live with the monotony and the repetitiveness is critical to your success. So it's about finding novelty in non-novel situations, in the routine, in the banal daily grind of it all. It's finding that novelty and also recognizing the grind and loving the grind for what it is, and choosing something that you like to grind at. Right? If you're happy doing what you're doing, then the introduction of novelty into those daily habits will be second nature to you. It'll be fluid. You'll find new in the old because you love what you're doing. And if you love what you're doing, you want to do it well. And doing it well means injecting novelty. That's why running is so great to me, is because Every day's a new day, and it's always the same day. Self-discovery is very much an iterative process that you are always iterating on, whether you like it or know it or you don't. You're living through a series of days and you're doing a bunch of pattern-matched things based on habits that you've formed throughout your life. And if you're not consciously choosing to iterate and to find novelty in the mundane, then you're just living the mundane and iterating on that over and over again. And so what would your life be if not mundane, if that's all you're doing? It really just stems from being conscious of it, is how to escape it. Same with any looping, inexplicable, and inescapable system. We're all out here pushing rocks up hills, and those rocks always fall down the hill. It's just a matter of finding what you enjoy about pushing that particular boulder up that particular hill. You know, I really think these things are the biggest success indicator. And you could even define success as whatever you want to for yourself, but the mental predisposition towards going past what you do every day, looking at what you do every day, going past that into the thing, the very thing that you're resisting changing. Because we are very habit-oriented creatures, extremely resistant to change. But if you could recognize that and own that and create change in your life that's productive and novel and meaningful without getting into the pitfalls of novelty chasing, then you're really excelling at life. Getting into these monotonous spaces is arguably what makes us able to become bored and force change upon those very activities. Because if you're bored of doing something, but you generally want to continue doing it, you're going to need to make tweaks and changes to it for it to be enjoyable still. And you won't know which changes are good and which changes are bad without trying over and over again. Hence, it's an iterative process. And it's a self-fulfilling process. Because if you give up on it, then you're no longer doing that thing. You no longer can innovate on it and iterate on it.